and welcome to another brand new episode of Books with Not Just Brief. In today's episode, I'm going to review a book by the Turkish author Elif Shafak. Elif Shafak has multiple books to her credit, and she's won many awards as well. The book that sort of grabbed my attention, although I haven't read that book yet, is 40 Rules of Love. I do have it with me, and I also have The Architect's Apprentice. That's another book by her that I do have with me, which I haven't again read yet. The one book that I have read so far from Elif Shafak is The Bastard of Istanbul, and this is the book that I wanted to review today. Elif Shafak is a very celebrated author in Turkey, and she actually writes her books in English as well as in Turkish. This book is in fact written in English itself and not in Turkish, so this is not a translated book, although it has been translated into more than 40 languages, I think. So she's, as I said, she's a pretty celebrated author and is also, I think, the most widely read female author in Turkey, according to some sources, where I think that's a huge feat, if that's the case indeed. I think I have a thing with foreign authors who write in English or whose works get translated into English. If you watched my earlier videos, I did a few reviews on Swedish books, and then Korean books, and then Japanese books, and now this is obviously a Turkish writer writing in English, and I'm planning to do a video next on African authors and their books, so stay tuned, and this might be your cue to subscribe to my channel so that you're up to date with all the videos that I release. I try to release a video every week, and usually on Sundays. Do subscribe to my channel, it will mean a lot to me. And if you like my videos, then of course like them, share it with your friends and families, and leave a comment or two. Now back to The Bastard of Istanbul. So this is about the Kazanchi family. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but this book centers around a family in Istanbul, living in Istanbul, and it's the Kazanchi family. And there's a very typical thing in this family. The men in this family are cursed, sort of cursed, to die in their early 40s. So in the household that this book or story centers around, there are no men. One of the protagonists of the book is Asya Kazanchi. Sorry, I'm just reading the names from the cover of the book. Is Asya Kazanchi. Sorry, I think I'm pronouncing it really, really wrong. But anyways, Asya is one of the protagonists of the book. She's a 20-year-old girl living in this household with her mom and with her aunts and her grandmom. The way the story has been laid out, it gives insights into the present-day Istanbul. Although, now that I talk about present-day Istanbul, I don't know. It talks about which year it was set in. So this was released sometime in 2006, 2007. This book, maybe that's the present-day Istanbul. It's talking about this book at all. But anyways, as I said, it talks about present-day Istanbul. And then it shows in the past the lives of the Armenians during the Ottoman period, and then very matter-of-factly talks about the Armenian genocide in the early 1900s. And well, of course, this family is an Armenian-Turkish family, so it has its roots in Armenia, and then they've settled in Turkey, so it's an Armenian-Turkish family. So you get a great glimpse into the past or into the history of Armenia and Turkey. And I love the way the story has been set in a household only of women in Istanbul, and who have a mysterious sort of past, and this entire thing about the curse with the men in their family. It gives a very outwardly sort of feeling, or outwardly sort of effect to a very real story. So I think that's probably the star attraction of the book for me. So as I said, the Kazanchi family is an Armenian-Turkish family, and there's a lot of talk about food, about Armenian traditions, and about the sight and sound of Istanbul. I mean, if you can hear and see it through the book, almost. So it's a very it's a visual treat. And then there is this only living male in this family who lives in the US. So he is Asia's uncle, and he also has a daughter named Armanoush, or Amy, who was brought up in the US. So then there is this depiction of the life of an Armenian in the US, and sort of the Armenian society in the US, and the description and ways of life from Armanush's or Amy's point of view. So that's another parallel depiction of the Armenians in US, just like the Armenians blended in Turkey living in Istanbul. So it's pretty nice in the way it depicts these different flavors of society, or of the different of the same kind of people into different areas, and how they live their life. And then almost like halfway through the novel, there are certain situations which led Amy or Armanoush to travel from America to Istanbul. And then there is a sort of a relationship that develops between Amy and Asya. And that is also portrayed beautifully, where it is a sort of cold in the beginning, and then they start knowing each other, and the relationship as cousins develops. So that's another thing to look out for. And well, throughout the story, there is this backdrop of the mystery around who is the father of Asya, and with that mystery, kept alongside the narration of the past and the present in two different continents. I think it's a pretty beautifully blended story. I really liked it. One of the most important reasons why I read so many foreign authors is that I get to understand a little bit of their culture, of their country, through the stories that they write. And reading about not just Istanbul, but about Armenia, and not just Armenians in Istanbul, but Armenians in the US, I think it gave me a lot of perspective into the background of these people. So I really liked the book. There is a lot of patchwork, in the sense that there are stories from the Armenian genocide period, there's stories from the US, then there are stories from the Turkish past, and they've tried to, and Elif Shafak has tried to put all of these together into one story. I think she has done a great job. I really liked the novel, especially with this mystery around, you know, who's Asya's father, and almost this deathly magic around the males in this family being cursed. Plus, there are also genies in the story. So bringing it all into this one story, which is supposed to be like a real story. It isn't supposed to be a book of magical realism, nor is it supposed to be like a fairy tale or book on genies, etc. But the fact that Elif Shafak has brought in these articles of curses and genies into such a real life novel, I think that really stood out for me, and I think she blended it all in perfectly. So I of course I highly recommend this book. So this book is 357 pages long. So if you watch one of my last videos where I talk about which is the right medium for me to read a book, this just marginally crosses my ebook threshold, and hence you see I have a hard copy of this book. Although I think this book is can be read on an ebook as well, because it isn't too long and the story structure isn't too complex. So you don't have to go back and forth a lot. So I think it's a good recommendation on an ebook as well. If you have read any other books by Elif Shafak, do let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. If you read this particular book itself, let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you like my reviews. If you want me to do any specific reviews, I would be more than happy to do that. And as I said earlier, do subscribe to my channel. It'll mean a lot to me. And like and share this video if you liked it. So that's it for today. And till I meet you next time, stay healthy and stay safe. Bye for now.